Hello, everyone. Gianni DePoce here with you for TheoTrade, and today is Tuesday, the 15th of October, 2024, and we are seeing a bit of a pullback in stocks today with technology and especially the semiconductor sector leading the market lower. So we'll discuss that, but there are still some good things happening, so we'll address the good and the bad and in this video. So let's start off with the S&P 500. We rallied to a new all-time high yesterday. Did so with a little bit of bearish divergence in price in the RSI indicator. This does signal that upside momentum could be waning. And you take a look at the intraday chart here, you are seeing a little bit of prolonged selling going into the close here, but we'll see if we can get a bid coming into the close. There is a little bit of bullish divergence in price in the RSI indicator that suggests some immediate term momentum to the downside could be waning, but I'm a little more concerned with what's transpiring in the NASDAQ. The selling pressures are a little bit higher. It looks like you have a bear flag here on the 15-minute chart that could leave the door open for another 200 to 300 point decline. But at that point, I would be looking for a bottom. I don't suspect this market to break back below 20,000. I've been saying pretty adamantly in recent weeks and months that I need to see the NASDAQ make a new all-time high. The fact that the NASDAQ has not made a new all-time high since the 11th of July is a big concern. You can see here that we also pressed up against the upper Bollinger Band. A little bit of bearish divergence on this upswing too. So do need to be a bit cautious, especially with what's transpired in the semiconductor sector, down a solid 5% today. And that could be a significant lower high with respect to the trend. Now, I'm not going to make too much fuss about this just yet because it is just one day. But when you consider that the RSI indicator just popped above the corrective territory between 40 and 60, that is a bit of a cautionary signal. Now, a lot of this has to do with NVIDIA seeing a nice sell-off here. Actually have a long position here in NVIDIA. It did close at its highest level in history yesterday, which is bullish price action, but we may need to see a little bit more backfilling and sideways price action within this rectangle formation. And of course, the news that sent this lower was that U.S. officials may be looking to limit some of the sales of semiconductor chips abroad. So yeah, that's going to cause some issues. But recently we've been taking some profits in some tech-related names. In this Impinj stock, we did take profits in both the main room and in AI timing webs on the rally to 230. So that stock looks good. Just today, we took profits in Technoglass on the rally to 77, locked in a 28% gain on that. In Impinj, we locked in a 25% gain. So, we are also taking profits in many names at these levels. That being said, I still think the path of least resistance for stocks remains higher. When you have names like Apple hitting new all-time highs, yes, there is some bearish divergence here. We are seeing a little bit of selling going into the close, but as a rule, new highs are bullish. And you look across the Magnificent Seven landscape, you do have Amazon up off the lows today. Google, which I argue has been one of the weaker names in the Magnificent Seven, is holding up all right. I am watching Netflix. I think that the earnings for Netflix could be a major catalyst for higher prices. It's been consolidating in a very narrow range here, and that is probably alluding to a major move higher in this name. So that's something you want to keep an eye on. And I also think that Tesla may have completed a low of significance as well. So something you want to keep an eye on. Obviously, big things happening in the cryptocurrency space, and I just have a tough time believing that we're about to enter a period of a meaningful sell-off in the equity market if Bitcoin and Ethereum are seeing nice bids. Bitcoin up another $1,100 right now. Ethereum down slightly on the day, but this Ethereum market clears the 27.9450 area. Look out above. I think we could see this rip, along with many names in the crypto sphere, let's call it. MicroStrategy, a name that we've started buying on September 9th, coming up strong, pressing up against resistance here. I'm not going to lie to you, Friday's rally caught me off guard a little bit. Once we tagged resistance, I was actually looking for a little bit more sideways action. It seems like we're getting that now. So I'm not fretting about this pullback. A little bit of bearish divergence there, but I think this stock still looks good. My upside target in MicroStrategy is at the very least $280, and it could probably go higher from there. But I would be looking to capture profits on a rally to that level. You take a look at Core Scientific, another name in the space that we are looking at for crypto that I think looks really strong. But, Coinbase hit a new high today, a bit of a sell-off. And I just think it's imperative that you focus on what's displaying relative strength in the crypto space. They should not all be taken for granted. The ones that are acting the strongest now will probably continue acting as the strongest. I do want to take a look at bonds because in the Theo Trade Room, I did share an idea with traders to get long bonds, specifically the 10-year Treasury note, towards the end of last week. And we had a stop loss on a break below last week's low, which was at 111.22. And would you look at that? The low yesterday was at 111.23. Now we're seeing a nice bid to the upside. You are seeing duration outperform to the upside as well, meaning that 30-year bonds are rallying more than 10-year bonds, rallying more than 5-year bonds, and so forth. That is a good sign and tells me that this rally in bonds could have legs. I think that we are completing an important cyclical bottom that could lead to an improvement in liquidity conditions. And we're also seeing that unfold in credit spreads. You're seeing spreads narrow between investment grade corporate debt and treasuries, and that's a really good sign. And so we know that technology has been doing well in these lower rate environments. So that's why I really wouldn't put much stock in this sell-off today. I think it could be a one-off event. You might see a little bit more downside tomorrow, but I'd be looking for a recovery by the end of the week. And I do think we're in breakout mode. That being said, I am on the lookout for a potential high of significance to form around the election. It doesn't have to happen on election day or election night. Could happen the week before, could happen the week after. But I do think that we are shaping up for a sell the news event around the election. But I do see a lot of good things happening in this market. You take a look at the US dollar. I am short the Japanese yen. I think the dollar's holding up well against the yen. The euro continues to weaken. So that's something that should be on your radar as well. It seems like global capital wants a piece of the US action in terms of the market and economic performance. Crude oil seeing some major selling as well. We are up off the lows on the day, but I do think that crude oil will continue in its range bound action unless it either breaks below 65 or gets back above 85. I think it's stuck in that $30 range until proven otherwise. Precious metals seeing solid rebounds today as well. We may have seen some cyclical resets on this front. Silver outperforming to the upside. We're not fully risk on yet because gold miners are outperforming silver miners, but a lot of the names that we have been in for quite some time are still holding up. We did get stopped out of Anglo Gold Ashanti for a really nice run and a really nice trade overall. But wheat and precious metals coming up off a higher low. AGI showing some strength. We also have long positions in Newmont Corporation and Barrick Gold, and these all look really strong. So I don't think this is something that should be slept on. And the fact that gold is rallying with the dollar speaks a lot to the strength of precious metals and cryptocurrencies as well. The fact that Bitcoin is up as the dollar rebounds says a lot about the demand for cryptocurrencies. I don't think it's going away anytime soon. And I think it's going to provide us quite a bit of alpha in the portfolio, assuming we are positioned properly going into year end. So, one of the things I think that we need to keep an eye on as well is the performance spread between consumer staples and consumer discretionary. You are starting to see consumer discretionary make a comeback, a notable comeback for that matter. It's almost overtaken consumer staples in terms of year-to-date performance. So that's a really good sign. We've seen some nice breakouts higher in names like Carnival Corporation. This is an idea we shared in chat. The cruise liner seeing a really nice bid, and even airlines. I don't have any positions on this in this area. You can see Delta Airlines, United Airlines showing some strength. I'm not really a fan of trading airlines, but they are looking better and better with each passing day. It seems like the consumer may actually be in a better place than we otherwise believed previously. So that's all for now, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the Theo Trade chat room.